Welcome back to the Anything and Everything Show. I'm here with Greg Meyer, who is a pharmacist. Greg, you're running the farm parties here in the scenario for the farm parties. Tell us a little bit about what farming is, skittling. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, farming is where kids bring drugs from home. They probably don't even know what they are. Put them in a bowl, and then they go around and take a handful of pills and just see what happens. Some of the scenarios can be really, really bad depending on which drugs they get. If they're getting narcotics, it's very easy to overdose on narcotics. The skittling and the robo-tripping things that the kids are doing can be really bad. Also, you end up with permanent damage, liver damage, kidney damage, brain damage, death. It's a really bad scenario for these kids.
Tell us what I know what robo-tripping is. Tell us what robo-tripping is, just because I hear a lot of athletes doing it because it doesn't show up on urine analysis. And so could you tell us a little bit about that?
That's where they drink a bottle of Robitussin. And if you know, the normal dose is 5 to 10 cc. So if you drink a full bottle of that, it causes hallucinations, vision disturbances, just all kinds of bad outcomes with that.
Yeah. Now, we've had 3 deaths since the beginning of the new year, right? With farming. How real is this? Because it still seems like even after 3 deaths, people don't really think this is a realistic thing.
Yeah, my understanding is that the 3 deaths were associated with that, and it is real. There were some people that were saying, "Oh, this is just a made-up thing," but the statistics are starting to show, and I don't have them with me right now, are starting to show that this is really happening, and it's happening in Pueblo as well as East, West Coast, everywhere. So it is out there, and the really bad thing is that they don't know. They bring them into the emergency room. We don't know what they took. Usually in the old days, you would have an overdose. You knew what the people were taking because you had a pill bottle with them.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you don't know, and then you have to wait for a tox screen before you know how to treat it.
And we hear from some kids that if they're wearing a blue shirt, they take the blue pills. So it's not just that you don't know what they took; they don't know what they took.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And waiting for the outcomes. Some of the scenarios we have over here are kind of humorous because you can take things that, who knows? Maybe somebody put some birth control pills in there, which isn't terrible but not good, and then you start, like I said, you get into the narcotics, you get into respiratory depression, then they can vomit, aspirate, and then you end up with brain damage or death. So it's a bad case.
All right, thank you very much.
You bet.
Thanks for being a part of this. I'm actually kneeling here in between 2 people, Cheryl and Judy, who do a lot for our community, a volunteer, and somebody from you're gonna give us the lowdown. I'm not even gonna try to explain it.
Okay.
I'm gonna hand you the microphone and tell us what you do here.
Well, we are Pueblo Suicide Prevention Center. We do the 1-800-SUICIDE number for the state of Colorado, but more importantly to Pueblo is we are the Teen Line. And the Teen Line is a program that we recruit volunteers from all the high schools age 15 to 18, come in, train them, give them skills in how to talk about suicide, how to help their friends, and then they come in and volunteer in our center and actually take calls from the local community. Kids can call in and talk about fun stuff like school projects, not so fun stuff, fighting with their friends, boyfriend, girlfriend issues, or just get good information about all the available resources and agencies in our community that can help them. But the Teen Line also with our volunteers like Judy. Hi. Awesome kids that come in and volunteer and talk to their peers, because the kids won't talk to each other at school sometimes, but they'll call the Teen Line anonymously and talk, and we get the help and information to them. So it's an awesome program. It's an opportunity for kids to volunteer, give back to their peers and their community and help, and then also the main thing, prevent suicide.
So, and the great thing about what you're doing, you can tell that you're passionate just by listening to you talk and, taking the microphone and just saying and that's what we love. That's what we love here.
Love my program.
Judy, I'm going to put you on the spot for a second. What kind of training did you receive, and, had you had any calls yet?
Well, I was on the teen line for 2 years, and the training we get before is we sit down and we talk about the problems that are in everyday life. We learn all the signs of suicide, depression, hostility, anything that is in everyday activity of teens. So when teenagers call, and sometimes they vent, sometimes they have real problems, and we need to help them. And it's easier to help teen to teen than teen to adult, because I know when I have problems, I don't want to go to adult because it may get a little complicated. But when you can talk to a fellow peer, it's easier.
Okay. Two other people in our community doing great things. We appreciate it so much. Thank you. Okay, I'm here with David Romero, who's from Fire for the Nations, who we just drew a card from when we rolled the dice over there. Tell us a little bit about what you guys do over at Fire for the Nations, David.
Great. Yeah, Fire for the Nations is a nonprofit organization, and it's a faith-based counseling center. That's what we do. We offer a wide variety of different, I guess you could say, services. Okay, we do some anger management for ages K through 12. Okay, and that's they could just come into our facility, make a couple of phone calls, and we could get them set up right away. Okay, we offer both boys and girls groups for middle school and high school, and all that is just a chance for them to come in, touch on some issues. You know, they're not stuff that they might be afraid of talking at home. You know, and they could come in where it's a real comfortable, safe environment, and we're able just to go ahead and say, hey guys, talk about it. Let's see what's really causing you to have some of these problems. Our biggest one that we push a lot is we call it Teen Screen. Right now we are in the school district 60, public school district 60. We're in their wellness centers both at Central and at Risley. And what Teen Screen is, it's a mental health screening for suicide. So if some kids' parents might be thinking, even we get some calls from the school administrators, we get counselors having some issues. If they think that a child is having some issues with some suicidal thoughts, they give us a call. We go and we screen them. It takes 10 minutes. The screening is completely free of charge. After that, we sit down with the parents, with some of the counselors that we have on staff, and we go over kind of like a scenario, saying, hey, this is what we've caught as far as what the screening was, and that we were able to refer them for other services.
You know what, let me ask you this, David, and that's great that you guys do all that, and I know that you guys do a lot of it on donation basis, and I think everything that Fire for the Nations does is great. I just want to say that. You know, we have a lot of moms come in and say, my kid's pushing me around, they have anger issues. Is that something that's common here?
It is. We have a lot of, unfortunately here in Pueblo, we have a lot of broken families, single parent homes. So we get some aggressiveness when mom tries to, or dad for that matter, tries to lay the law down and give them some rules. There's some aggression there. Nowadays the kids are a lot bigger than some of their parents, so they do get aggressive. And we've had some issues like that at Fire for the Nations. And if they're willing to go and get the counseling help, we'll do everything we can to help them out.
The great thing about you guys being donation-based is that, parents can come in and you guys will help with the parents counseling too, right? It's not just the kids coming in and asking you guys questions. You bring the parents involved too.
Yes. We like to try to get the kid in first, because sometimes the student, if the parent is willing to take them, we start off with the child. But then we have a little sit down with the parents as well and say, hey, this is what we'll start with your kid, but we need to bring the whole family back into it, so that way, we can address everything, at the same time.
So how do they get in touch with Fire for the Nations besides through the school system?
We have a phone number listed on all of our brochures. We have handouts. Our address is 1114 Erie, which is just about a block south of Crossroads. Our phone number is listed both on our webpage and also in the phone book. So we're very easy to get a hold of.
Okay, Fire for the Nations. Thanks, David.
Are you allergic to betadine? Because that's what we used to play. Okay, so this is the tube that's going to go in your bladder here. Oh my god. Alright, have the catheter in.